rescue, revamp, create. The art of drum synthesis. The new course is available at Letsynthesize Academy.
Yo, Dan Larson here, welcome to the new Synthesize Sunday episode, and today I want to show you an awesome rack that transforms your boring bass into very characteristic, very unique bass through this little thing I made. Like always, you can grab this whole project from my Patreon below and click here because I just released an awesome drum synthesis masterclass on my academy, Letsynthesize Academy. But right now, let's jump into it. Cool beans, so here is the beat once again. Okay, so the drums. Pretty straightforward. And the basses. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is everybody uses and everybody knows compressed sines, you know, that type of bass that sounds like this here. It sounds cool, but you know, it doesn't have that character that would separate from different basses. But here is his bass. That really has the character, and I honestly love it because you might wondering how to make these and what creates those middle range frequencies. That is almost musical. So this is what I'm going to talk about today, because the original bass, you know, the sine compressed one, sounds like this. Such a simple thing. I have a sine wave and a noise, and in the filter tab they are distorted slightly, and the LFO moves the overall volume of the preset of the synth. Then I basically compressed and distorted heavily with the reverb. So let me just show you, this is the reverb here. That's a huge saturation, and with an overdrive, some EQing, because without this EQ the whole thing would turn into a very noisy direction and I didn't want it. A light OTT preset, then an OTT, another EQ to clear up the whole thing after the huge compression and distortion, and Act 2 extra compression at the end to make the whole sound pumping. So this is what creates a effect of the sound that I honestly love it, because without that it's just, but I wanted to have that, and you get that breathing effect because of the reverb. So if I deactivate the reverb, the whole thing just won't sound this mental. So it's compressed sine, but with the reverb. Okay, so it's time to improve this bass. So this is where this bass was born. The process is almost the same, except the thing that I added 2 extra operators or 2 extra oscillators. Without those, it still has this sound, but it's really those 2 operators or oscillators that creates this very nice sound. Okay, so let me open the Magic Rack. So after it, I had to apply a notch filter that moves back and forth. So here you can see the LFO amount and the rate. And this is actually important because when the filtering comes down here, it decreases the low frequencies, and because those are always the loudest and heaviest, you know, the distortions react very differently, and this creates that morphing effect in the bass area or the bass frequencies. So as you can hear, if I disable the notch filter, you can hear on the distortion part it's a, but when I activate the notch, it's like, and that is because, you know, if you filter the lows, the distortions won't be that aggressive on the lows, and you won't hear that aggressive sound. After that, I had to use a phaser to add some extra weirdness to it. And the next goodie is this Brooklyn preset from the old resonator. To be honest, I love this sound without the resonator too, and I had to be in key because the original bass was in D sharp. Okay, and after this point, the process is almost the same what we saw previously. So I started with a reverb and a saturator and an overdrive, still the same, another EQ that is same, light OTT, OTT, another EQ, and the 2 compressors to the end with the limiter. So this is quite complicated, but what it does is, to me, honestly, it is very lovely. So after that, I had to just resample it and, you know, just find my favorite parts in that and chop them off and create the groove. So I added these synth hits. That sounds like a percussion, but actually they are synths. And the background filler thing that sounds like almost if it was a vocal. And an actual vocal thing to the end. Right, so grab this project from my Patreon below and click here for my academy for the awesome drum synthesis masterclass. See you guys next time. Peace.